Episode 3 of the Top 5 series, checking out wide receivers.
Welcome to the Rines Report with your host, Tristan Blake Rines.
Number 5 on the list, I have Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The 2020 NFL season is going to be a huge moment for Mike Evans to shine for his career, right? I mean, Tom Brady joining the squad gives him his best quarterback that he'll have ever played with under center. And from what we've seen with Tom Brady and some superstar level talent, a la Randy Moss, right? The numbers could be, extravagant through the roof. We could see some records broken between this duo among all the other very talented receivers on that, offense. Mike Evans has a huge opportunity this year to break out as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He's never had less than 1,000 yards in his career. He's made 3 Pro Bowls so far, and Mike Evans is a touchdown machine. He's a touchdown monster, and adding Tom Brady, again, under center, is going to do some incredible things for Mike Evans' career. A lot of games played in primetime, televised games around the country this year. So Mike Evans, to football fans, is already a pretty well-known wide receiver, but not a lot of media coverage so far. That's definitely going to change this year, and the opportunities, again, for Mike Evans are through the roof. So many potential, huge outcomes that are going to make a giant difference in his career. Number 4 on the list, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Julio Jones. The dude's not just a freak athlete. He's not just a beat. The man is an alien playing wide receiver, physical monster, right? Over 1,200 yards last season, 6 touchdowns. It was just one shy of a 100 reception season. Julio Jones and the Matt Ryan tandem, the duo, the chemistry is a lethal duo, right? And in the NFC South, they had a lot of turnover all around the division. The Atlanta Falcons seeing a ton of it from all around the offense, but one thing is remaining true to form. It's that, hey, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones going to go out there and they're going to ball out. Julio stays healthy this year. I can absolutely see him breaking 1,200 yards, probably around the 10 touchdown mark. And if, let's say any of the other receivers happen to go down, get hurt, or whatever, I could very well see Julio getting around another 100 reception season. The dude's made the Pro Bowl almost every year of his career. I expect nothing less this year. And as he enters the latter part of his career, Julio Jones is still absolutely one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, still chasing that ring, and who knows, maybe he could very well get it sometime soon. Number 3 on the wide receivers list, Davante Adams of the Green Bay Packers. Now, the biggest thing annoying Aaron Rodgers about this entire offseason, them not drafting a wide receiver or really a tight end, is going to be the biggest reason why Davante Adams' numbers are going to remain so stupid high, right? Over 1,000 yards receiving, over 10 touchdowns, over 100 catches could very well be in Davante Adams' future this year. A very good route runner with some strong hands, and he has a nose for the end zone. Davante Adams is Aaron Rodgers' go-to threat and will remain his go-to threat during the 2020 NFL season. Now, Davante has easily brought himself into the top 5 wide receiver discussion. The biggest thing is remaining healthy. Last year, he missed a handful of games, was just shy of the 1,000-yard receiving mark, but was still able to get a Pro Bowl nod. I expect a lot of, the same as far as production-wise. He's going to remain playing at a very high level, and Davante overall is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. There just happen to be 2 guys on this list that, for some reason, are just far and away better than everybody else, right? So Davante Adams, number 3 on my list, heading into 2020. The ceiling is very high for the Packers wide receiver. So the top 2 wide receivers on this list, you could very well coin flip one way or the other, but I decided to put DeAndre Hopkins as my number 2. The newly acquired Arizona Cardinal, formerly of the Houston Texans via trade, is looking to make a name for himself in Arizona. The next quarterback that he has played with, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Kyler Murray, and he's joining a very good offense. Andy Isabella, Hakeem Butler haven't really seen a lot of playing time so far, but DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald are going to be an incredibly lethal duo. The Hall of Fame wide receiver on one side, the potential Hall of Famer on the other, and it's going to make the offense around Kyler Murray that much more extravagant, that much more special. Offensive-minded head coach Cliff Kingsbury is going to have a lot to work with here. And DeAndre Hopkins is walking into the season with a chip on his shoulder, being dealt from Houston very strangely out of nowhere this offseason. And I could very well expect DeAndre Hopkins to break the 1,000-yard receiving season, 100 catches, around 10 touchdowns. And one of the most interesting statistics about DeAndre Hopkins, in the last 2 seasons, he's only dropped 2 catchable balls, both coming from last season. So I expect him to keep that level of production up. It's going to pay dividends for Kyler Murray down the road. It's going to help his development tremendously to have such a reliable target on the outside, well, on both sides of the football field. So DeAndre Hopkins sits at number 2 for me. I expect a lot of production for him in Arizona. It's just a matter of how many more wins can that translate to is the big question here. And then number 1 on the list, the Offensive Player of the Year, Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints, is a freak beast at wide receiver. Broke Marvin Harrison's single season receptions record of 144 with 149 last year, winning him the Offensive Player of the Year just narrowly over Christian McCaffrey, who had a tremendous season. You can check out the last video for more on that. But Michael Thomas, in my opinion, is the best wide receiver in the NFL. You don't win the Offensive Player of the Year award doing nothing. And his ability to get open, to diagnose defenses and find the gaps in the defense, middle of the play, with some incredibly strong and secure hands. Michael Thomas is, heading into the 2020 season, my favorite to be the best wide receiver. It's going to be very contentious. There's so many really talented wide receivers in the NFL. Michael Thomas, in my opinion, just happens to be the best one walking into the season, but it's going to be really competitive to stay there. I'm not exactly expecting him to have another 140 reception season. I think he's going to easily break 100 catches, 1,200 yards, and 10 plus touchdowns. It just remains to be seen, the players around him staying healthy. I think Michael Thomas is in a very good position. I like what he's been bringing to the table for the Saints as they make a run towards another Super Bowl and potentially Drew Brees' final season. So along the line this year for the Saints, Michael Thomas has still a lot to prove, really young career, but the trajectory is going up and up and up. Michael Thomas, my favorite heading into 2020. But thank you so much for watching the video. Feel free to stick around and watch some more content. Also subscribe, get the bell to know every single time I'm dropping a video. All my social medias are down in the description below. Feel free to like, comment, share, all the good stuff, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Adios.